Okay, I'd like to call the council special session to order. It's Wednesday, February 21st. Time is 5:30 p.m. Let me go ahead and start with council development session, core values and to make decisions. And I've asked Rachel Berry to facilitate, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you and your work in this endeavor and all these endeavors. Yeah, so a core value session. Why are we doing this? Why now? Thoughts? Open.
Give me my question to you.
Why? Well, or how about why now?
Why now? Because of everything that's going on, that we have to remember why we're sitting here, our core values in this day and age. I think it's easy to get distracted from those and let outside influences come in my opinion. That's just me speaking for me, and continue to stay to, I'm guessing the reason you have picked 10 of these is to try to see what those mean to us, and I think all of them are good, but to make the best decision with the information we have based on our core values. And I think that's why we're elected officials too, because of our core values.
There you go. Other thoughts about the timing? Why we're doing this right now?
I think it's good timing because I find myself second guessing myself all the time. Like whether or not I really do mean to make and want to make the right decision for everybody, but I also find myself like, is that the right way to go? Or is it, because there's two sides to every story. And am I doing best for everybody?
You guys are more, right?
Yeah.
Other thoughts?
It's important for us as a group to be able to work well together, even if we disagree, to be able to work together and get through the disagreements. And I think we've done a good job of that, but we've still got a fairly new group here working together. So I think it's good timing to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on timing?
I just think that it's a good reminder when we do these meetings that we represent 15,000 people in the city, not, 20 people that show up at every meeting. We represent them, but we represent other people too. And trying to, kind of zoom out and do a big focus, big picture focus is very important.
I think it reinforced why I came on.
Yes. All of that. And there are a lot of difficult decisions on the horizon here. Right?
Well, sometimes there's not a right answer either. It's just, there's trade-offs and especially, around budget and things like that. We have a vision, we have strategic or mission statement hanging on the wall. We have that strategic planning that we do every other year, have work items, check them off, and it's all part of this looking up, looking down kind of thing, from the vision down or from the action items up to come together. Values are a big part of that.
Right on. And then before we get into it, how many of you overthought this? Overthinking?
Started and then I stopped myself because
I had to keep counting. I'm a type A person, so doing it just the way that it needs to be done.
Very good, very good. Right on. So so prior to this meeting, I'd asked you to identify 10. We're not gonna take it to 5. Narrow your list to 5. Oh, one more question. Do you want me to come along and do this, be a part of this exercise?
Of course.
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
do it.
that.
All right.
You want us to narrow it to 5 right now?
Take it to 5.
we're just highlighting the 5.
Take it to 5. No, because it's hard decisions. This is
Specific rules.
hard decisions. Right? Take your 5, we're gonna do it again. Take it to 3. This time, write each of your 3 on a separate sticky.
Ma'am.
separate color?
Color are you choosing?
Does not matter.
Okay,
The colors, there's colors. And it, nope, does not matter.
We just want 3 words on 3 separate cities,
Correct.
on 3 different colors.
Doesn't matter. You pick the color.
He hates this right now.
For you, one on each color.
You got it.
Part of the test.
I'm only interested in rules if they serve you really well. They don't. Alright, and I will take stickies. Put them up on the wall. Yep. That's okay.
I'll pay for it.
And then
Is that really?
Inflation.
Inflation, yeah.
It was not used. So I could write. it.
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Would you mind putting them on different stickies?
Oh, I thought they're all in one.
Oh, is
I
that-
wasn't paying attention.
The other way.
I'll be right back. I'll keep one of them there.
I was gonna say you get extra credit for coming
Sure.
up with something,
Yeah.
but take it away now.
Conservation, a little conservation ethic going.
Too, that had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, right.
can't use that for everything, okay, Russ?
I do.
All right, and then I'll have you stay here for a second.
Not done, I'm sure.
You're fine, you're fine. Cool. Thank you. All right, John, if you would help by finding any duplicates? Or kind of grouping them.
Matching game here.
Yes, this is the matching portion. So I'm working with a handful of stickies that say trust.
Trust. Integrity, got some matches.
Yep. And kind of grouping ideas, right?
Collaboration. Does respect go together? Patience, still. Couple of teamworks. Fiscal, or a lot of responsibilities on there was a personal, fiscal, and one other one there, I can't. Responsibility, community, environmental, person.
So what we're coming out with already before talking this through is quite a lot of shared values in this room.
Outlier on the entrepreneurial spirit, but I figured it might be.
This is how I spare everyone dots. Little stickies. We love the dots, but.
Right, where does service best fit, but there is a match. Integrity, honesty, respect, trust. Collaboration, teamwork.
Teamwork.
About the responsibilities with community and fiscal responsibility.
We can leave them there. Let's, we'll talk it through a bit, right?
Openness, is that Honesty, is that,
Yes, well,
or trust?
Yeah, openness, well, yeah, I mean,
I would put honesty.
yeah.
That's my intuitive sense of that. Leadership? The matches? Standing behind our people?
Yeah, right, we've got stand behind our people, leadership, fiscal responsibility, community responsibility. Teamwork and service. Integrity, lots of integrity called out. Openness and honesty. Trust. Collaboration. Respect. Compassion.
Do this, did it have.
It's a true story. It's a true story, right? So we're grouped up. How do you feel about having so many similarities,
I think it's good.
right?
Yeah.
Just from you all sitting here, bringing your perspectives to the work.
Take 10 to narrow it down to 3 to have that many.
Yeah, Yeah.
That are specifically spelled out too.
where you're making, those top three, integrity, acting with integrity is huge, right? Teamwork, and service, also the responsibility, right? The themes of responsibility. Here. We're gonna do it and go around, just share one that strictly strikes you or that the similarities in where you're at really strikes you. Like, Mr. Mayor, what was the value you put up here?
Honesty,
Holding that dear,
yeah.
right? Counselor Gunderson?
One that I put up there,
Sure.
teamwork.
Teamwork. Super important. Counselor Chilton?
Integrity, I think that integrity above all else is the most important thing.
Yeah, and we've got this kind of integrity, openness, honesty group. Is that a fair group? Counselor Hubbard?
Physical responsibility. I think that pretty much speaks to every sticker up there.
Absolutely. And I'll tag on, that was my community responsibility. Right? Back to your comment, we serve 15,000 people and many more. Fact. Counselor.
He's the one I keep coming back to.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and as Councilor Chilton alluded to, there will be a little sticky behind the dais with all of these kind of captured. But let's just, for the sake of the exercise, and these exercises, of course, this one comes from the Harvard Business Review. The next one we're gonna do comes from IBM. Like, there are just so many similarities in leadership groups, how we come together as leadership groups, how we, you're coming together to drive a bus somewhere you may not necessarily want to go. But it's about bringing everyone, and it's about doing it for the whole community that we serve. Right?
I had picked entrepreneurial spirit, even doesn't fit the kind of core things, but it is. My purpose there was that tax and spend government just doesn't work. We have this flawed business model to deliver services. We have tax rates that we can't adjust, so we have to get creative and have this kind of entrepreneurial mindset to serve our community in the way they want to be served.
Yeah.
I think that kind of fits in the responsibility category over there.
Yes.
But I agree on the others, the integrity starting to group pretty nicely there.
Yeah, it sure does. Also, let's take this like standing behind our people and our work. Does this kind of like come in here with the collaboration and trust? Is there like a group that this could live with?
And teamwork.
Teamwork?
Whole group there.
Yeah. Yep. Passion. Is that your,
It was
talk about it, tell me about it, where do you wanna put it?
probably with teamwork and service.
Right. Leadership. hanging out here required for everything? Does it live with a group?
Let's see, maybe in integrity.
Or, yeah.
but probably don't.
Well, you know what, we're gonna stick it up here. Cause we need. They all flow, that's my, it flows from and they flow to. Respect. Where does respect live with any friends up here? Honesty, integrity, respect. Responsiveness. This was mine. It's a little bit of an outlier, but I also see a place for it with this collaboration and teamwork, service and passion. Right? If we're not responsive to the folks, you don't have these things happening.
Trust comes from as well.
Yeah, right, this trust, collaboration, teamwork. Looks good. Way to go. Do you feel that this reflects where we're at right now? Do you feel that these values are reflective of the broad situation? What I'm trying to get at, are they like aspirational, like we should get there, or this is what we bring and this is what we're doing?
I think it's tough because I feel like everyone sitting here believes that we're doing those things, but when you're constantly, being told you're not, it's really hard to believe that what you're doing is the right thing.
Absolutely.
I think we are doing it. I don't think, just being respectful of how Oregon meeting laws happen and, just. Knowing that this is behind everybody here makes me feel a whole lot better. I mean, because how often do I reach out to you guys? But I know your core values now.
This is important. You haven't talked about this openly.
Yeah.
Right? You expect things and this maybe, John, if you want to chime in here, like people come to council, people run for a council seat.
And I think that
And are then seated and you really don't know what's
core value.
to know folks, but an alignment in core values is a different animal than a campaign promise, right? Reflecting from where you sit, do you feel like this flows through the agency?
Generally, yeah, I think from internal lens. Yeah, I would say that, got a lot of really great staff working, they're very mission driven, they're looking up. For leadership, they don't like what they see sometimes on the, public attacks and things, but they're committed to the city. They need to do the best work that they can in the circumstances.
Well, and back to that, the relationship of this, like the leadership sticking out here, right? Thinking about the relationships, right? This is a time when you're gonna have to make really difficult decisions. And it's not gonna be pleasant. Right? So having core values as a lens with which to make decisions. And for you to communicate decisions, right? If your value is integrity. And here we need to make some really tough choices about staff and programs and facilities and that type of thing. It's like the leadership is flowing from these values.
Those values collectively kind of set the tone at the top. If you got the public looking at you, at that tone, and you got the organization looking up to see what the council's doing.
Well, and even thinking about your sessions today, I say that, our team, we speak partnership, right? And it's so heartening for it to show up here, right? Collaboration, teamwork, service, trust. Right? This to me is like how we speak partnership and how you interact with each other. And with the folks that come before you, but that you communicate with in the broader world. Right? We will capture these and this will be the cheat sheet, but use this for communication too. You believe in fiscal responsibility, believe in community responsibility. Sometimes it's gonna be uncomfortable. That's part of the job. Anyway, that you're not hearing this for the first time from me, but you know, it's part of the job. And to approach things with a collaborative spirit is always helpful. I'm thinking about your work session today, right? To see the collaborative spirit and to see different groups come to you and talk about how we work together. That's a big one. And looking at, you know, openness, honesty, and integrity. You know, thinking about some of the issues on the plate right at this moment, but also to carry forward.
I think that's, you know, when you're speaking of integrity, I think it's important that you are transparent with people. Even if that means you're not giving them the answer they want, they will respect that you were honest with them. And that, you know, at least hear you out. And I think that's what we try to do with each other. And we try to, you know, do that as much as we can with the public too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. This will get summarized for you and for you to use. And I want you to hang on to this, so we're just gonna slide it over. We're gonna talk about stakeholders. We're gonna talk about all of the people that you serve or that have an interest in what happens here in St. Helens. There are a lot of people with an interest as to what happens here in St. Helens. Right? And these are groups or organizations that can make a claim on your attention. Which happens quite a bit, your resources or output, right? And then you have another one, stakeholders, anyone who can throw a wrench into the process. Right? So be thinking about some of the internal voices and also external voices, you know. Folks literally right now from all over the world have a stake in your leadership and our direction as a city. That is a big deal. I think we can go to the next one. All right, so yes, we're gonna get into some stakeholder mapping, right? This is about identifying key players and listing them early on, being able to align folks on goals and plans, addressing conflicts or concerns, right? And now we've got kind of a lens to address those through. Also a way to communicate and build understanding and anticipating needs. Needs is pertinent right now. So we're gonna do it.
Who drew the plaza? That looks like
Ah.
our plaza, that's weird.
These images are from the ESTAT, like the foundational visioning for waterfront redevelopment. So let's do this. Stickies, get your pens and stickies. Different stakeholders. One stakeholder per sticky. This can be a group, one stakeholder per sticky. It can be a group. It can be, you can name names if you're inclined. Think about all of these people, internal and external, who may have an interest.
What?
No, I want you to brainstorm all of the people. Everyone gets their own sticky, No. That was the values. Now we're doing everyone you can possibly think of who is a stakeholder
Stickies.
on several cities. Yeah.
Stickies if you need.
We've got tons of stickies. Yep. Keep going. Keep going. You got more stakeholders. Keep going. Nope. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I'll take them. Take them as we go. But lots, and this is like the brain dump, like brainstorm, like who's got this in St. Helens? Who demands your attention? Think about who is here, who comes to present to you during work sessions. Right? Yep. Yep, yep. Oh, look at this big pile of rainstorm.
I feel a little bit random.
No, that's good. We want a random. Also, think about resources too, who may have resources that you need. Or be a consumer of resources.
Slack.
You're okay. No right or wrongs. There's many. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, and you can even be more specific. You can have a. You can have Governor. I don't want to stick. Come on. Yeah. I like your naming.
My what?
You're naming names, like naming different, not the act.
I hope so, so I was like, now I'm running out though, and then the brain's like, I'm gonna put Kathy.
What you see.
Yeah.
So,
Right?
Taking any from me, what do you, what?
Okay.
I need to take-
This list can continue to go on and on and on.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give it a minute. We'll give it another 2 minutes. Just to get to that extra uncomfortable point where you're like, I can't think of anyone else. We're there. Yeah, and you can think about who gets your regular friends and who may flush a toilet in St. Helens, like, seriously. They are your stakeholders. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah.
He's a teacher, it's expected.
That's good.
This is some of the public knowledge.
It's good, it's good. Well, and I'm gonna bleed over. I was afraid of, yeah. Actually, you know what, let's, everyone take a couple of minutes and come up here and look and see if you get anybody else.
Pair it up or?
Yeah, I should probably start, huh?
You got these stickies.
There's one lot of good ones I didn't think of.
That's why we do it as a team. Right? Yeah, I saw a couple.
There's schools,
Yep,
bunch of schools.
bunch of schools and youth. And we got a whole lot of. May have been from user. We got some exciting, we got some. The eyes, see, that's what the right place to put it. County. We are the county seat, after all. Oh, we've got county peeps. County peeps.
Yep.
I saw a couple of tourists, another school. State partners.
State on one.
We got large industry and industrial business. Schools, taxpayer, citizen, resident, taxpayer, yeah. Yeah, here's another school, children, not just the school, but the children too. What another county? You got another, more children around here? Yeah. Exactly.
GTK goes over a state.
I was thinking clubs like.
Who was that?
Kiwanis and
UTK.
Lions.
That's how you talk to her when you're texting to her. Never.
I'm glad she made it. There we have the regional partners, aging community and seniors. We need to keep your eye on that ball. That's an important one.
We got veterans over here. That might go.
Ooh, yeah. But that is
I
an,
think investors goes with industry, doesn't it, kinda?
yeah,
Maybe?
do it. And then we've got.
Industry up at the top too.
First
Community groups.
Oh, we have industry up top.
Orange on the yellow.
One can yellow up here. Yeah.
We've got large industrial, I've seen a lot of local business here, small business.
Established business and then small businesses.
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
Ooh, I won't even jump over to there though. I don't mind.
And then we've got.
Industry, small business.
Here somewhere. County. 4-H, thanks for 4-H, shout out.
That was me too.
That's good.
Don't forget about those people.
That's a good one. Any other, okay. Who are we missing?
Well,
Main Street. We've got. Profit, Main Street, Chamber. We got a regional kind of CET is kind of this county regional.
I think what we're missing here though is, I mean, and I love the question because it's for us, right?
Right,
But we're actually probably the most influence on the community.
city council.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, over probably any of these, when it comes to the city of St. Helens, it's us.
Right, and then, you
That's a
know,
huge responsibility.
yeah,
That's why we need these values.
and then it's, well, and here we go, we're gonna talk about. Let's just talk about it, standing around right here. You know, the folks who have the most stake in what we do. In what you do, the decisions you make. Who are the people with the most stake in that?
Citizens in general.
Community.
You all as council or staff, right? You need those folks in there. This decisions you make are gonna affect everyone, right? Future generations, that's a tricky one though. You know, definitely our decisions will impact future
That
generations.
is a tricky one.
Well, and there are generational projects in the hopper right now. That definitely will be rippling across time. Hang on, Parks and Library, I want these guys over.
I'll tell
I
you,
think that future generations really does interview with the kids and the children.
I like Russ's comment talking about business though, because I can tell you, not just small business, but industry ran this whole entire town for a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
Business, local business, established business.
Yeah. Not that they ran the town, but like, when they sponsored all the sports, they did everything, you know, that they just kept giving, you know what I mean?
Well, and they're,
Yeah. Mhm.
we're gonna go back to the stickies, who's missing? Who's missing? I can even write it down. What do we got? Who's missing?
Oh, who's missing up here?
Who's missing up here?
My concerned citizen comment, got no partners.
They all. They all live there. Well, and here's one I was thinking about, like our fire district.
Yeah.
Right? Think through the urban renewal meeting, think about all of those other taxing districts,
Sure.
right? I mean, vector control, they're a stakeholder, man, they're going out there. Other. I'm really putting vector control out there.
Are you really?
Yes. Who else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just very cool.
No, library.
Yeah.
So,
we got them over there.
PD.
Yes, thank you.
Talk about power.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Well, you've already talked about power today and you will again in a moment, but
I think we're talking about power for quite some time.
yes,
To be honest with you.
but in addition to CRPUD, does PGE gets sticky.
Yeah, they do.
They're in this kind of make or break stakeholder position right now, right? Didn't see that one coming. Who else? Who else can make a claim on what we do? Just thought about boaters, right? Up here with the tourists and visitors, right?
Sure.
People who come by boat, fisher folk, anglers.
Yeah.
Fisher folk.
You prefer fisher folk? Okay.
Or descriptive.
Yeah, I do.
I prefer salmon slayer.
Outdoor recreation.
You jump out of a snake thing.
That was our name for the salmon derby that got switched into the sturgeon derby because they closed down salmon.
Right,
Yeah.
well, and I would argue our activities impact the whole Columbia region, right? Right?
Well, a little bit, it ties directly to St. Helens, but farmers in our community have really. There'll be farmers in the city limits, but.
Well, and now the bees are technically livestock.
Yeah.
Gardeners, I'm they're gonna kind of flirt with the small business over there, cause that happens.
Yeah.
Struggle to find their place in the community.
Well, you know, the homeless people that live here
Yeah,
are affected by the city, the rules that we make and the things that we change and.
yeah, unsheltered people. This minority groups, do we wanna call out anyone, like folks who don't, or who aren't English proficient, like?
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah. On the state side, are there any particular agencies that you'd like to call out? Yes, thank you. They have quite a claim on our resources and they hold a lot of the financial, right? Who else? Who was our good friend who we saw
Luba.
today?
Luba. Oh, Luba.
Yeah, yeah. We also saw Business Oregon, thank you. Man, Doctor,
Luba. League of Oregon Cities.
thank you.
LCDC. Let's start putting all the acronyms. up.
Yeah, acronym soup, let's do it. And we'll be hearing a lot more from DLCD coming through this session. Who else? Business Oregon. Yes.
How about the
Well, we're on acronyms.
the ethics?
Ah. oh,
Yeah,
geez.
can't forget them.
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm doing my best to be legible here, so like it's helpful. I will write these out when we type notes, yes. And they, LOC is like, they're a special partner, right, as our advocates and our friends and compatriots around the state.
Well, I think some of our, neighboring cities are also influenced by things that we do in our city, right?
You wanna call them out?
Papoose, Columbia City, Vernonia, Rainier.
How about our volunteers, Rachel?
Yeah, there we go.
You feeling really cool about that?
Vernonia, hang on, we'll get Rainier and Clinton. That's a tough one. I will type that. I can type proficiently. Sorry, hang on, the best one that we just had?
Volunteers,
Volunteers, yay.
boards and commissions, everything and et cetera above.
Board commission.
Civics is dying, people are not coming.
I'm gonna put some friends up here too, friends groups.
Yep.
We all like friends, but to be more specific.
State legislature is always trying to have impacts on cities' resources.
Yes.
Ways to hold money.
Well, and they're great.
Mandates.
Yep, yep.
Well, you know, small businesses goes under that umbrella, but restaurants, our restaurants are influenced by us.
Yeah. Mark is running out. It is, I'm so proud.
That's what's that's what.
No fist fights, markers go, markers go.
I'm sure we forgot somebody, but you know, you can't get them all.
Local media.
Yeah.
Corporate's defined.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Social media, right?
if you put news gatherers.
Information.
News gatherers, the neighbor,
Radio
Rick's
stations.
neighbor, Rick's neighbor.
Pretty just,
You want it up here?
you got one in there?
Every neighborhood.
I don't
does,
pay any
and
attention, but I.
Concerned citizens, oh, someone already put it out there. Yeah,
If
okay.
you're one of those persons that gets out in your neighborhood just a little bit, you'll have one of those neighbors who lets you know everything there is to know.
Oh, yeah,
Just trust me, you don't have to walk far, maybe a block and a half away.
it's true, it's true. I'm sure you've all experienced the grocery store public service shakedown by now, you know.
Oh, I worked with all cap in the store for a reason.
It's
I did. It's not a good
I don't know, you know?
Anybody put Karen?
What's that?
Karen,
Karen,
you know, the Karens of the world.
Up she went. And this, do you think we've gotten to this? The post-it says, those who live outside the city but use city resources.
I think those,
Do you think that's like tourists? I mean, it's just like people in the county.
Right, right.
I think that would be county stuff, you know, I mean, we get a lot of people, because of the county seat for all the services here.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a lot
right.
of people that just live right outside of city limits that utilize our grocery stores and.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely,
Schools even.
absolutely.
At least every.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. Wait, so what, do we feel like we're grouped pretty well?
It looks like a big blob to me if I'm just.
Yes, yes, well, and IBM has you draw bubbles around everyone and the lines between them.
You understand?
And yes, we may, well, I'm not gonna destroy this board, we use this board all the time. I just didn't want it to bleed through
We're
on
in a
people.
budgetary crisis.
Yes, yes, yes. So, and there are a couple ways to organize this, right? Sometimes there's a matrix of like, depending on their power and influence, right? I didn't wanna play it like that. I think all of these people have a claim on our resources and are folks that are really important to be communicating with. Right? We're gonna be making really hard decisions that's gonna impact all of these folks. So it felt kind of gross to me to be like, oh, LOC is more important than our local church. Like, that just isn't the way I think.
Well, probably like 80% of the people up here, we never hear from.
Well,
So you just
you know,
have to
on a good day.
Yeah.
Like, right?
You just have to kind of know that people put you in this seat to be able to try to make good decisions for the city as a whole and try to take all those people's thoughts into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
I look at it and think of a wagon wheel. Where all of those are the stakeholders are the ends of the spokes and who they all serve is kind of the middle.
Well, and who serves them, right? You all and our staff are providing service to all of these folks.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely relationship building there, isn't there?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Are there folks up here you didn't expect to be up here?
Here's about the DEQ.
Well, they're an important stakeholder. Because a lot of our activities need to be they're under their regulatory oversight. Right? The way we discharge wastewater is.
Anything to do with the river, pretty much.
Anytime you look at the river, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
looking at it. You
yes.
understand how to prevent river.
Yep,
Record these
let's
years.
do that. Well, and thinking about complex like permitting, right? We wanna permit some really large projects. And who needs to be involved? And once you look at the river, you've got all kinds of other agencies that are involved. Oh, we got one we didn't deal with. People with agendas.
Where's the Karen at? Yeah, there you go.
Karen, concerned to
You'll know when she wants you to know. Like, well, these are a lot of folks that you are beholden to. That we are as public officials, like, these are the folks we serve, and it's not exhaustive, like, we could certainly continue. But coming into this time of making decisions, it's gonna be important to keep your eye on how decisions impact all of these folks, right?
Absolutely.
Any other wacky items, things you didn't think about?
Frank Saber's a little wacky, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a wacky neighbors, like, our neighbors are colorful, that is for sure.
Where's my neighbor at? Let's come down here with Karen.
Here by concerned citizens.
Let's come down here with Karen.
That's good.
And people that do that. Cause he usually does.
Yeah, well, and that's, I mean, my agenda is that my kiddo gets to participate in sports and has a great school that's well served by city services, like. That's my agenda.
And then like families can buy homes for their families, you know, not be like big enough housing for. That
Right.
accommodates families in safe neighborhoods and sidewalks, and schools.
Yep, and homeowners is over here. Our doctors are just kind of hanging out. Where can I? Our doctors. We need more of them,
Yeah.
which has become clear,
Yeah.
right? And they serve all of these folks. I'm gonna kind of put them over here in the small business land.
along with that medical clinic or
Yeah,
urgent care.
yep. Medical service. Developers, can I put this down here by this industry, small business cluster there?
It generates.
Speech our farmers over.
I think local is in the wrong spot, but.
Locals.
Probably should be over by residents.
Yeah.
Like in the industry area.
Yeah. Locals, well, and here we've got this like club and community group. The citizens, right? We get organization and kind of down here with our nonprofits. Taxpayers and residents and homeowners. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. I hope this isn't scary. Because it is kind of scary to think about all of the folks and all the interests that you are serving. And who have a need for your attention and who use our services. I think it's helpful to see it, but don't be scared. And seeing it helps. Right, I come across a lot of things thinking about like the aging community and how you design public space, right? Because our population nationally is aging.
Well, and I just know for me, it's about taking these values in partnership with some of these people at this board. And continue to be honest and responsive and keep that dialogue going with a lot of these. It's how even our staff works with DEQ as they get to establish relationships, you know. I can clearly say how all this intertwines with one another though too, as like you said, as scary as it is, we have the people that reach out to those, we have those relationships, there's a staff member here that has it. There's a staff member here who has a relationship. Here in Mahalo would be DEQ, they're constantly the two that are reaching out with those two. Aaron Tenders at, town hall meeting down here. All here. Okay. How much more you got of this anyhow?
What's that?
How much more do you have of this meeting?
We're wrapping up in 8 minutes. We had a really short time.
Yeah.
And I feel like we came really far. And I think what, yeah,
But taxpayers, businesses, I consider them true stakeholders. It's doing jobs and paying taxes, and that makes this happen.
right. Yeah, and it goes, and if our internal health isn't there to process.
That's what I was gonna say, cause these guys
Stuff
can't do
these
anything
folks
if these
need.
people aren't here, you know, to develop the houses or to start the businesses or to, you know, buy from the businesses. It really has to go hand in hand.
This starts with this, create the need, and the need with all of these, the need should happen because there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, and then back to like the school workforce industry connection that we talked a little bit about
You think
earlier.
about our titans, you know, Rockefellers, Carnegie, Hershey's built a city around his development, that thread. He actually built a whole city.
Right,
Long-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Or shipyards, right? They had schools.
As a
and
matter of fact, even
hospitals.
our logging used to be that way. They
I was gonna say
actually
the paper
used to-
mill,
they used to
right?
have, get this,
Matrix City.
not only that, you got paid in their currency and went to their store to buy merchandise
Oh,
from them
yes.
with their currency.
Oh, yes.
That is a scam there.
Oh, yeah.
St. Helens wouldn't be here if we didn't have industry. That's what started our city.
It's typical with Ford and everybody, they had a company town because they had to get the people, put in housing,
Yep.
feed them and all that, so they could work in the So it wasn't a city, they had to build their own stuff.
Yep.
They got a lot of-
Right, right. I think about that now with some of our workforce shortages and the difficulty of building housing, right? Which our developers know, which our unsheltered people know, which
One of the problems with
really is
housing
here.
is these people.
gatekeepers.
Throwing that out
There,
there.
yeah,
I live it daily, so.
Yeah.
30% of your housing cost goes to others.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
true.
yeah. There have been a lot of conversations about that right now. So we will wrap up. That was a short time to do a lot of really big work. And I think we've got one more slide with the question, how does this influence your leadership? Look at that. So how does all of this work influence your leadership? Like, what are you gonna take from this little tiny amount of time forward? What are you taking? What'd you get out of it? Give me something.
Oh, for me,
Go around or?
Well, yeah, whatever
A
you,
little more collaboration, not me.
yeah,
just, know that, any one of those groups doesn't speak for the group as a whole.
that's a
Right.
really good takeaway, right?
I mean, they all rely on each other. As much as this drives maybe everything, this don't happen without the citizens and all these other little things. It just doesn't. This right down in here,
Right,
this don't happen.
right.
Now, this, it regulates this to make sure that the citizens were right here, the youth, the future, is gonna hopefully not have any issues like the old boys didn't know no better. Let's face it, the mill had some issues down there. It had some toxic stuff. They didn't know no better. I don't know, they all do work like spokes within a wheel. I mean, when you really think about it,
I think what I get from it is just that, I like what you said about, like, there's no top or bottom. The church people mean just as much as the people that are volunteering in the streets, because this is what makes us a community, this is what makes us unique, and this is what brings people together, so. Just trying to have enough ears to listen to everybody.
you know what all that needs? Just a little more love. Just a little more love there.
There you
Come
go.
on,
An industry, right?
That's what I already have.
Oh, did I bring my hippie stuff to this meeting?
I was-
Dang it.
I was gonna open with all of
Dang
it
it, I brought
stuff
my
and
hippie stuff,
I
sorry.
fell back.
Song or something.
That's not. Trying to offer, so like, hey.
Counselors, John, how does this influence your leadership?
Could equally be a sphere too.
Yeah.
The services around it. Well, everything impacts itself. It's a community, it takes clean water and light sewer and people live there and utilize those services. Industry is at the core of it.
Put more conscientious now looking at more responsibility than. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And that was my kind of comment about it being scary when you see all of the folks that have a stake in the activities, right? And it does, it certainly kind of, and I hope it helps you zoom out a little bit too, right?
Zoom out to Karen's.
On the industry. Focus on the industry.
I'm learning that.
The whole picture. Gotta be the whole picture.
Into that government.
I just think there's not one sticking out that I could tear off here and say that's not important or that doesn't belong here. I think.
Yep.
Every individual, every group has a place here and plays a role in the city that we have, so it's all important.
I really like how you, included the fire district and stuff, because we may not govern over their, district and how that works, but it influences us and everyone who lives in the city.
Right. Well, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Rachel.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
while we have you all, this picture right here was just a
Yeah.
couple weeks, years ago. The SDAT came, the Sustainable Design Assessment team came from all over the country to sketch pictures and kind of give it a vision of what it might look like. And that's the Bluff Trail coming down Plymouth.
Read on that.
Road's a little bit closer to the bluff than it is today, but it's not pretty similar. It has the walking trail along the bluff, it has the road, it's parking.
yeah, and you can go through all of these slides. They all came from that STAT. I had the most boring set of slides ever. I'm like, I don't even want to look at these.
He drew that in like 10 minutes. I mean, just to sit here and watch it.
But really cool. To go back to like, that exercise was done with a ton of stakeholder participation, like all of these groups are participating in the STAT, thinking about the future of our city. right? A shared future. And then you got a bunch of really talented architects who can draw all of this.
Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn.
We're breaking this down.
I just wanted to let these girls get to this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your time.
Rachel, yeah.